What's up, everybody? It's Billy Briz, aka Ackett and Bills, back again with another one of these NBA DFS videos. Let's hop right into this one. We got a 5-game slate here. My exposure today, I'll have some a little bit on Draftkings, and then over there on Fanduel, I'm playing a 5-max. So I'm speaking from a GPP primary perspective today. So just keep that in mind when I go over some of the games and core plays on the slate today for me. But the first game that we have here is Miami versus Philadelphia. This game is in Philly. Philly's 10.5 point favorites. The over-under here is 225.5. Pretty interesting game here. Let's start off with the Philly side because there's not too much I'm really liking from the Philadelphia side. If I had to pick a couple players from this team, obviously Joel Embiid at the center position, $10,200. But I don't know how much Joel Embiid I want to get to today. There's some other studs I like on this slate a little bit more with a higher point game totals later on in the night. But if I had my favorite player from this team would probably be Tobias Harris coming back. He's listed as probable today, $7,600 at the small forward position. I feel like he can go overlooked today on a slate like FanDuel or even DK if you want to stay in the mid-range option. But point per dollar wise, he probably isn't going to pop for you too much. Let's go over to this Miami side, team that I have a lot of interest on today's slate. My favorite play being from this team would be Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero listed at the shooting guard position, $6,500, about a $1,000 price difference between the websites. Big fan of Tyler Hero today. This dude can chuck the ball. He's the cover boy today. Him and Jack Harlow. If you haven't peeped the thumbnail today, it's Tyler Hero. He's my favorite play today. Definitely going to add him to my core pieces, especially over here on FanDuel where you get a $1,000 price difference. But if I had to rank my favorite Miami Heat guys, it would be Tyler Hero. Number 2 would be Kelly Olynyk, $5,300. One of my decision points on today's slate, especially over there on FanDuel, is going to be if I want to go Sabonis and Wood or one of those two stud options with Kelly Olynyk at $5,300. I definitely feel like he can smash at this price tag. He's going to have to play a lot of minutes. Gordon Dragic, Jimmy Butler, Kendrick Nunn, everybody you can think of really is really in quarantine for this Miami team. They have an 8-man roster. Some of these value plays pop a little bit more over on DK than FanDuel, but one of the value plays I do like is Precious Nwachu. Hopefully I'm not jacking that name up. $4,100 over here on FanDuel. And then Gabe Vincent at $4,500 is pretty interesting also as well. But Tyler Hero, like I said earlier, definitely going to be in my core pieces for FanDuel today. Out of the 5 lineups I'm going to play today on FanDuel, he'll probably be in 4 out of the 5 or 5 out of the 5, depending on how certain value breaks today. But let's talk about this Toronto and Charlotte game. Toronto is 8-point favorites versus the Charlotte Hornets. In Charlotte, though, over under here is 220.5. Modest over under here. But let's talk about the Toronto side. I wish it was a different slate for this Toronto team because I love the price tag on Kyle Lowry today, especially over here on FanDuel as we're looking right now, $7,200. Feels a little bit too cheap for GPPs. But other than that, I don't really want to go to anybody else. I know Pascal Siakam's been playing very well, showing like triple-double upside. But the power forwards, I want to keep my power forward pool pretty short today. I definitely like some of the punt options, and then I like some of the stud options at the power forward position. So I don't know how much Pascal I'm going to get to today, but definitely a guy to keep your eye on. And also Chris Boucher at the power forward position. He's been absolutely balling real life-wise. Definitely a guy I'm going to keep on my radar. Once he gets a start and we get like safety amount of minutes, I would love Chris Boucher in this spot, but there's too much he's just too risky of a play right now. Definitely a guy to keep your eye on though for the upcoming weeks. Next game that we're going to talk about here is the Houston Rockets versus the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs are 7-point favorites versus the Houston Rockets that are James Harden-less. Oh, my goodness. That was the Woj bomb of the day. I was just chilling there throughout my afternoon, and then Woj bombed the Nets trade and get James Harden. Man, that's a crazy trade, real life-wise. Over-under here, though, is 218. Pretty low over-under. I did have some Spurs interest, but, DeMar DeRozan's coming back today. I guess he was out for personal reasons. So not too much I really like from the Spurs side. Probably a full fade here of the Spurs team. If I did have to pick one, I guess LaMarcus Aldridge, but I don't even want to go to him because he plays power forward. I shouldn't say plays power forward. He's listed at power forward over here on FD, so I don't even want to get to him too much. So it's pretty I kind of want to fade the Spurs today. Maybe the Spurs would be a better bet than a actual team I want to attack for fantasy today. But let's go to the Houston Rockets side, one of my favorite teams on the slate. Man, this team is going to have no bodies today. No James Harden, no John Wall. I wouldn't be surprised if you see some Cousins and Wood play next to each other. But DeMarcus Cousins, pretty cheap price tag across the websites today. But the center positions over there on DK, really hard to not plug in two of the centers in the night games. We'll talk about them a little bit later. But on this Houston Rockets side, Christian Wood seems like one of my favorite plays of the day. Pretty interesting decision point that I'm going to have to make between him and Kelly Olynyk for certain builds that I want to do on Fanduel. But $8,100, and I think he's a core piece over there on Draftkings if you're playing Draftkings today. Also, Eric Gordon, if he is able to go, he's listed as questionable today. I love me some Eric Gordon. And then David Nwaba is way too cheap over there on DK. Let me look at my notes real quick. Look at his price tag. $3,200, almost bare minimum price. And then also the secondary pieces on this team, like Sterling Brown, bare minimum price. Deshaun Tate, good GPP play. Ben McLemore, especially over here on FanDuel at $3,700. For the people that don't know, man, Ben McLemore could definitely chuck up some shots if you give him a opportunity NBA-wise. But that's really how this is a really good, I feel like a mini stack here. Just grab a couple of Rockets and Miami values and then match it up with the studs that we're about to talk about in these night games. These night games are absolutely juicy. Golden State Warriors versus the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets are 5-point favorites. The over-under here is 225.5. I think that is the highest total on the board of the day. And this is one of the games that I have really circled on today's slate. Nikola Jokic definitely leading my way for my Denver Nuggets interest today. MPJ is still going to be out. So one of my sneaky conviction plays of the day is going to be Will Barton at the small forward position, $5,700. I played him against the Brooklyn Nets. He didn't disappoint. I feel like Will Barton's an interesting guy if you want to get him in some GPP lineups, just low ownership and high upside in good game environments. I love me some Will Barton today. It'd be pretty interesting to see if Gary Harris is going to play or not. Overall, though, that's really what I like from the Denver side. Just one stud on that team. Don't really want to play Jamal Murray too much. But Golden State, though, I'm going to keep it pretty short with Golden State. I'm going to go with the same three guys I've been playing with all year and maybe adding a fourth, but I don't really like Draymond Green at the power forward position on FanDuel. But the three guys I've been really playing a lot this year from the Golden State side has been Stephen Curry, $9,600 over here on FD. Definitely will get to some Steph Curry today. Out of the 5 lineups I'll play on FanDuel today, I'll probably get to 20 to 40% of Steph Curry, depending on different builds I want to go with. Started building lots today too much yet. So also Kelly Oubre, $5,300. You know me, love me some Kelly Oubre as always. Very interesting GPP option. And then James Wiseman, $4,100. I don't know if I want to spend one of my center spots on James Wiseman today, but way too cheap of a price tag. He's almost hitting the 3K range. Smash at this price tag in the start of the year. That's when I played a lot of James Wiseman. I think on one of the first slates of the year, he was like $4,300, and I had like 100% of James Wiseman on like Christmas Day. It was like really weird. But as I digress a little bit, that's really what I like from that game. What's up, Big Show Picks? Shouts to Big Show for the graphic design behind the scenes works here. He's the one that did the graphic behind me and stuff like that. Pretty dope. But let's talk about this Portland and Indiana game. My favorite game of the day. Over under is pretty high here. I think it's the highest over under on the board. Not the Denver one. That was the second highest. This is the highest one, 229. Portland's 3-point favorites here. There's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. Very interesting game for fantasy purposes. Damian Lillard smashed last night. I had a lot of Dame last night. Didn't really matter too much on the slate, though. That's how high the cash and GPP lines were yesterday. Everybody had the same value, guys. It was just like differences. Like I think in cash, like the difference was like not having James Johnson or something like that, and Luka. It's like some stupid stuff like that. But I love this Portland side. I think I'm going to go to CJ today. If Dame's going to come in chalky, I paid the chalk last night for Dame. Didn't really care too much, but I like some CJ today. But Jusuf Nurkic is definitely a guy that you want to keep note on. If you're playing DK today, $5,300. You should probably add him into your core plays today. Even if you play one lineup or 20 lineups, I would probably be overweight on Jusuf Nurkic. $5,300, way too cheap of a price tag, about $1,000 difference between FanDuel and DK. One thing we've been noticing this year is that FanDuel's been having a little bit cheaper price tags rather than DraftKings. FanDuel's kind of where you're getting the value plays at, but if there's some value plays that are different from DK to FanDuel, definitely keep note of that. That's usually how I usually start off my slates, is just looking at the price differences between the websites. Let's talk this Pacers team. Love this Pacers team tonight. Domantas Sabonis, one of my favorite stub players of the night, $9,200. He's going to absolutely smash in this spot against this, I should say, porous Trailblazer front court. Good game environment here for the Indiana Pacers. Love Sabonis, love Brogdon. If I had to pick a secondary piece, I'm going to have to go back to the well today again with Justin Holiday. He absolutely burned me last time, picked the wrong Holiday brother. But I like his price tag today at the small forward position. He's definitely going to fit into one of those 5 lineups that I'm talking about today on FD. Really love this game for game stacks, one of my favorite games of the night. But let's talk about some core plays and stuff. Plug in a couple. My core plays today is going to be Tyler Hero, and this is for both websites also as well. Tyler Hero, Domantas Sabonis, Eric Gordon if he plays and if he's healthy. Those are my core plays today. My favorite game stack today is going to be Portland and Indiana. My second favorite game stack today is going to be Denver and Golden State. And the team that I'm looking to for value today is going to be Miami Heat. And the team that I'm looking to fade today is the Philadelphia 76ers. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button and then hit the bell notification so you get notified when any video goes live on Pub Sports Radio. It's a pretty busy week. We got the UFC on ABC One this weekend, so this is a big week for the UFC. So make sure you hit that bell notification so you get notified for those videos and gain a little bit of edge in the sports books and in DK. If you like me, follow me over on Twitter at Getting Bills. If you got questions for me, I'll answer all your questions and stuff like that. Yeah, Big Shaw, I'll definitely hit you up after this video today. I kind of have some things lined up today, though. I got a podcast, Dynasty podcast today. If you want to listen to that, though, Dynasty Force, search that in on your Apple Podcast or Spotify podcast. Any podcast that you listen to, give that a listen. Me and Rob are going to go live today, and we're going to go over our first Dynasty ranks of the year. Pretty interesting. So make sure you follow me over on Twitter. You can get notified for all that kind of stuff. I'm about to be out. See you guys. Have a good day.